Hey everybody, want to Weasel here. Exactly 4:30 a.m. Saturday, December 14th. Just introduced Gorilla Drilla. This guy, he warrants a must-buy again. Basically, to take all of the paths, have access to all of them at the same time. Looks really, really fun. That said, what we're going to introduce now, or who we're going to introduce now, is another Wave 2 swapper. Probably, at least from my experience locally, and when I monitor things online, which I do pretty regularly, I'd say he's the toughest to find in stock. It would be Fire Kraken. Again, cool deal here. Again, this probably means nothing to pretty much anyone outside of like hardcore players. Uh, you can actually switch the characters on the pause screen, so it's not gonna harp at you or anything. I'm pulling Gorilla Drilla right now. You probably saw Skylander disappear. Got a fish for Fire Kraken. Here he is. We'll stick him on. And now, when we back out, we'll go straight to his little special intro. Alright. This is the type of stuff that gets dislikes on videos. It gets hate mail. It gets you're a horrible person. It's why do you exist? He doesn't really appeal to me. There was a time I think I read something of his upgrades that made him sound pretty cool. Granted, just like every Skylander, I'm gonna give him until he is maxed out and has all the upgrades. But just looking at the upgrades and kind of knowing what I know about him, I don't know. I mean, it's just I get excited. I'm stoked for Gorilla Drilla. Magna Charge seems cool. Haven't really researched Hoot Loop or Night Shift a whole bunch in terms of their powers, but I already like them based on aesthetics and the limited playtime I've had with them. I don't know. I mean, it's just if right now if I had to pick out of all the characters released, least favorite, it would probably be Fire Kraken. I'm just gonna be honest with you. That said, I'm gonna stick to my word. I'll go ahead and upgrade the guy. If he turns out to be awesome, I will be the first to tell you, hey, this guy is freaking, pretty cool. The good news is I know a lot of people really like Fire Kraken. A lot of people want Fire Kraken, or think they're gonna like him because he's a dragon. He's got that going for him, so that's always got a big fan base there. The good news for those of you, and myself included, because if he does turn out to be cool, I want to have a second one to take the pass down. Boomjet, Gorilla Drilla, basically have to duplicate your existing figure. With Fire Kraken, there will be Jade Fire Kraken, so that's gonna be pretty neat coming up here later on. That said, since we're here at the training, I mean, he's pretty cool looking, right now. I don't like his voice though. Maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know. He jumps around. I do like the look of the elemental flowers for fire, if that matters. But that's what he looks like jumping. Primary attack, which is the Y button on the Wii U, pretty respectable. 34 and 51. It's like a bayonet type, not a bayonet, but like a baton, if you will. Primarily 34, you will see a few 51s. That sheep just got toasted. Secondary attacks, kind of like a tail spin slap. It's 10. And then the cool thing, though, is he shoots rockets out. You basically get 2. I'll start again right here. We'll count 1, 2, and then on the 3rd, he shoots that rocket behind him. 10's there. Let's try to get the sheep out of there. 25 on that little, rocket there. So kind of a, cool deal. Hopefully, that'll kind of translate in-game play. I actually really like the guy. Coming now, we're gonna go to collection. Back over here to Spyro's head. We're gonna come now to the fire element. And here's Fire Kraken. Slogan, burn to be wild. Very cool slogan. I'll give him that. Not a huge fan of that face, but I'm sure a lot of people like it. Burn to be wild. Raised on a small island surrounded by a vast ocean of fire. That sounds pretty awesome. Fire Kraken was the swiftest, most agile warrior his tribe had ever seen. And when a fleet of fire troll ships arrived to steal the legendary Burning Heart, that sounds like a bad 80s song, a huge elemental crystal that fueled the fiery seas, Fire Kraken leapt into action. Using a magical staff, hence the awesome 34 to 51 we've been seeing, to control his natural ability to wield fire, he set the mighty ships ablaze, forcing the trolls into a hasty retreat. Having saved the Burning Heart as well as his homeland, Fire Kraken soon joined the Skylanders, where he knew his skills would help those in need. So, pretty sweet background story there. We will back out now. I want to come up to Skylander, take a look at his stats. He's totally box stock. I feel like I used him for something. Not sure what. I think my nephew and I might have used him once or twice in battle mode. Max health 260. That's on the lower side. That's why I said Gorilla Drillers was pretty impressive at 290. I believe Boom Jet was also 260. Speed 43, armor 18. Gotta give him that. Armor pretty high up there. Critical hit also fairly high at 8. Elemental power 49. That animation he's doing while I talk, again, I'll give him that. That is pretty awesome. Oh, now I caught it in his mouth. But anyway, we'll back out of there. I want to take a look at his upgrades. Everything you're going to see here is the top half. Keep that in mind until I tell you otherwise. What he has right now: Sparkling Strikes. Press Y to swing the Sparkler Staff, damaging nearby enemies. First purchased upgrade is called Dragon Parade. This looks pretty sinister. Hold X, that's his tertiary attack, so we've got another character getting their tertiary early on. Hold X to run around in a Dragon Parade costume, knocking back and damaging enemies in the way, just like a real parade. You know. Second purchased upgrade is Glow Stick. Press Y to swing a new staff that does increased damage. This actually looks pretty dadgum cool. Next up, Rising Fountain. Hold Y to charge a staff attack, release to cause a large explosion that knocks up and damages nearby enemies. So, I could say something there, but I won't. First top-end path, if you will, is going to be called the Showcase Path. Literally, that's what it's called, is the Showcase Path. Rising Charge. Rising Fountain causes the next staff attack to cause a large explosion that almost looks like fireworks in the sky. We'll have to monitor that. Next one is called Finale. Rising Fountain does increased damage in a larger area at showtime. So this might be interesting to check out. Basically, I guess that's kind of like addressing his primary staff attack. Now, if that's not your thing, or you really like that Dragon Parade upgrade, you want to take Magnificent Parade Path. Begins with Year of the Dragon. Dragon Parade does increased damage, lasts longer, and reduces damage taken while it's active. That's a pretty significant trio of events. That is followed up with Dragon Candles. Dragon Parade shoots colorful, explosive fireworks at nearby enemies. This is why it's nice. He's got a Jade version coming out. Both of these actually interest me pretty well. So, obviously, Fire Kraken gets one, Jade gets the other. Now, the Soul Gem for the top end of Fire Kraken, Fire, whatever you need to call them. Dance of Dragons. Hold X, that's the tertiary attack here on the Wii U, to start Dragon Parade. Release to shoot the sparkling and explosive dragon costume at enemies. So, something we'll probably have to take a look at. That's in Twisty Tunnels. From what I understand, that's supposed to be a pretty sweet level there. I think you battle a fire viper or something. Coming down to the bottom. Everything we talk about now will be related to the bottom end of Fire Kraken, the lower end Kraken, the base end, whatever you need to call it. Begins, start the show. This is what we've got. This is kind of like his 1, 2, 3 shoot a firework type deal. Does 10 damage initially, 15ish, and then that third attempt it'll shoot off at 25. Press A up to 3 times to perform a firework attack on each press that damages nearby enemies. Next up is Show Off. This kind of looks interesting. Press A 3 times to shoot 3 colorful projectiles at once. So that'll be cool. I'll prefer the colors over standard issue there. Next one, Kraken up. Got to give him props for that. Press B to jump, throwing down fireworks and damaging nearby enemies. That actually sounds good too. The big one, hold A for a short time to light a timed fuse that causes a massive firework attack after a short time. So that one, it sounds promising. It's just a deal kind of like with the Magna Charge. You're probably going to have to buy it to see what it does to learn how you feel about it. Those are the 3 base attacks for the bottom. What we can do now is pick a path. This top one is called Stunning Sparkler Path. Starts out with unstable elements. Speed increases depending on how close the big one is to exploding. Anticipation. Similarly, I think you're probably going to have to get that to fully understand it. Next up, Sizzling Sparkler. Press A for a spin attack that does increase damage in a larger area. That's always a good thing. Bottom path, if you're not a fan there, Booming Bouncer Path. Big Bada Boom. Yeah, Big Bada Boom, I guess is what it is. Press A 2 times for a bounce attack that does increase damage in a larger area. Second upgrade is going to be Strike the Foes. Hold A for a short time to light the fuse for the big one and knock away all nearby enemies. Now, Soul Gem for the bottom end. The bigger one. Leaves room for a Wow Pow. That would be the biggest one, does it not? The bigger one says the big one creates a huge, colorful explosion that does increased damage in a larger radius. Again, I love numbers, but we'll obtain them through the training grounds or gameplay, I suppose. So, pretty much it for Fire Kraken. I think he's going to be a character I'll probably like more as I upgrade. Just in terms of initial appeal is mainly what I'm talking about. I just not really feeling it, That said, looks like he does have some pretty significant potential here, so I will keep my fingers crossed in that regard. Now, we're going to come in and take a look at his quests. First 6 pretty much generic. Defeat 1,000 enemies, eat 15 pieces of fruit, don't lose health outside of story mode, win 10 PvP. Totally maxed out. I'm a big fan. You're probably tired of me saying that. Reach level 20. Take all the upgrades. That way, if you're like me, you're not feeling this character, or maybe you don't like Boom Jet initially, this is incentive to actually buy all the upgrades, max them out, then see what you think about the character. That's vitally important. There's a lot of characters people overlook because they didn't like them initially, and they're some of the better ones in the game. Up next, Elementalist costs 7,500 elemental damage. Now, the real 3 fire specific, if you will, in my opinion, begin up here. Mega Melter. Defeat a total of 25 ice golems. Bombardier. Defeat a total of 30 enemies with bombs. And now the big one, literally, that works out well for him, doesn't it? Don't rain on my parade. Knock back enemies 10 times with 1 use of your parade ability. Basically just need to set that up. Probably won't be too terribly hard. I'm sure Magnificent Parade would help you out there. But that is that. That is Fire Kraken. We've covered his background story, shown you what he looks like, shown you his damage numbers, covered the potential upgrades for him. Like I said, pretty much it there. I'm excited to actually use the guy and upgrade him, and then like I said, kind of see how I feel about him once we've got several upgrades under his belt. Looks like it should be fun regardless, and for all I know, he might wind up doing a crud ton of damage with some of this stuff. So that's it, as I try not to swallow a peppermint. Gonna come in now. I think I will do Hoot Loop, then Enchanted Hoot Loop, then Night Shift, then Legendary Night Shift. Then we're going to get into our brand new Newlanders, if you will, our standard Skylander size. No swapping, no giants, nothing like that. And we'll just kind of go from there. And we'll start out, like I said, all along. We'll do the new guys. Then we'll probably come in and I might do like Battle Pack, Terrafin might make an appearance early on, but essentially it'll be new characters, then Series 2, basically your Sprockets, everything along those lines. Chill, then Series 3, our old guard, if you will. So, that said, this is Fire Kraken. Again, stay tuned. We're going to come right back and do Hoot Loop. That should be a blast. Make sure you're subscribed. That'll keep you up with all the latest. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Once again, thanks for watching, and we will catch you back here in just a few seconds.